Isn't it the best feeling ever when you take your stance ready to compress that golf ball with your easy swing and you do just that? It shoots off, penetrating into the air and then falls down right next to the pin. But we know that unfortunately this isn't always the case. On that rare occasion you'll get that nice beautiful compression and get those balls pretty close to the hole. But the majority of the time you're finding that you are hitting the ground first, or even more worse so, hitting those thin strikes that go straight through the green. Well, a couple of years ago, this was actually something I was struggling with as well, until one day my coach said to me, try this weird adjustment and see if that'll help you improve your ball striking. And it did just that. I literally went from struggling with those fats and thin golf shots the majority of the time to then transforming my ball striking, getting loads of compression just from making this weird but very effective adjustment. So if you're someone out there at the moment struggling with either of those fat or thin golf shots, or just feels like your swing is all over the place, then I'd recommend sticking around to the very end of the video, because this change, this weird adjustment I'm about to show you, really helps me improve my golf swing and get that compression on my irons. So I really do believe it's going to help you as well. So for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I'm Harry, a golf teach professional, posting content just like this every single week to help you lower your score. So consider clicking that subscribe button down below, as it helps me produce more content just like this every single week, and it's completely free to do. So the weird adjustment was taking my grip from a very much so neutral position, very much so reliable grip position, to placing my trail hand well underneath the grip with my trail thumb on the trail side of the grip, just like this here. Bit crazy, bit weird, but let me explain. Now, the reason why I was struggling to compress my irons like we see the pros do was all to do with my backswing and the way I reacted to this in the downswing. So what I would do is I would swing up to the top, getting very much so on the inside, way too steep, and then force the club to get across the line at the top of the golf swing. Now from here, this isn't really a reliable position to have at the top of the golf swing, because on the transition, we will always have to react to bring the club back down on a reliable plane. So when we come into the golf ball from this point here, the club face tends to usually be left open. So what I used to do in reaction to this was jump out of my posture and start to really flip my hands over so the club head would go ahead of them at impact. If I didn't do this and kept my hands forward, I'd leave the club face massively open and start to see them shoot off well to the right, as well as getting those fat and thin strikes. So not ideal whatsoever. So low, up, pretty much like that, forgetting that dodgy follow through, where we get that shot scooping up in the air, no compression whatsoever, and it's barely reached the green. So to change this, what this grip allowed me to do, and what it will allow you to do as well when you try this, is rather than getting very steep into the backswing and across the line, this grip allows you to, if you preset it and then turn up to the top of the golf swing, it allows you to fold your arm, your trail arm, in a way that gets the club working on a more shallower backswing, favouring a more shallower, more on-plane backswing position. And as we make our way up to the top, it allows the club itself to get a bit more flatter at the top of the golf swing here. It's very easy for us to continue that rotation on the way down, to transition, because the club's staying on plane. The club's moving down on plane now, and that made it easier for me to continue turning and holding this angle on the way through. So the feel swing for me when I was practicing this was literally forward pressing, presetting, allowing my body just to open up a little bit, getting those hands forward. Now the club face does open up a little bit here, and that is absolutely fine, because we are gripping this trail hand onto the golf club like this in a very much so stronger position. It's very easy for that club face to close down. So just to preset it just ensures that the club face, we can keep that club face a bit open, a bit more square for longer on the downswing. But the benefit of doing this as well, when you take it up to the top, it gives you that feeling of turning up to the top in a flatter position, getting that good rotation, but on the way through, you have to hold the angle. Otherwise, if you allow this club to release and you stop the body turn, it's just going to shoot off way too far to the left, just like that one there. So this really forces you to get that correct reaction the correct transition that we want to see as well in the golf swing. Not only does it fix the backswing, it makes it so much easier for you to force that rotation because you have to do it to keep that club face nice and square. Now I'm going to dive into how we can build this up into your golf swing and what I did and what my coach taught me to start off with, just to make sure I was getting the correct movement with those shorter swings and then building this up into an all-in-one motion golf swing. Now, just before I do that, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the partners of the channel who are currently offering a huge 20% discount code for this week only, Harry20. If you use the link in the description below, you'll be able to take a look at their fantastic website and get 20% off all their clothing. So if you are in the market at the moment for new golf clothing, I'd recommend checking them out below. So when we take a look at this and building this up into all-in-one motion golf swings, then what my coach started getting me to do just to begin with was just making a couple of chipping swings with this grip, presetting the club, turning up, and simply turning through, just like that there. So the key for these chip shots, just to begin with, once you moved into the backswing, the key from there was to hold the angle and just let the body rotate. So when I do this action here, for me, it feels like I'm turning my hip round away from the golf ball and my lead shoulder is following that. And as I make my way through to finish here, I'm trying to get my club face itself to face more upwards as opposed to letting that club face rotate over and release over like so. So just one more chip shot before moving into pitching swings, forward press, up, then just turning on the way through. Those two golf shots there, yes, they've not gone far enough to go to the pin, but they were very consistent. One after the other, if we just have a look at those two recordings, nice and straight, and the strike was very good indeed. And this is backed up just by taking a look at the attack angle number of minus 7.6 degrees on the downward motion. Now, if you are using a launch monitor when practicing this, you do want to look out for the attack angle and try and get that with these chip shots as low as you possibly can. So more in the minus, as much as 7 or 8 degrees on the downward motion. Now, the reason for this is that you can exaggerate this a lot more on the chip shots. As you start to develop this and build this into that bigger swing and faster swing, it's going to be a lot harder for you to get that same amount of compression just because you'll be so used to flipping the club too early. That's your mechanism at the moment, your subconscious golf swing of trying to add speed into the golf ball. So just practicing that either side, the new speed is going to come from the body. It's going to come from the body turning on the way through. But look what I did just there. I swung up to the top and I also did a slight little press into the ground and then pushed up and rotated out the way. Pretty much here getting my belt buckle to face upwards towards the target. It's the same feeling back and forth here, press down, turn up and through, belt buckle facing towards the flag. So building this up into pitching swings, just ever so slightly longer, and then adding that feel on the way through. Lovely compression. I should actually stick to using this grip because I've hit every single golf shot there straight away, nice and compressed. The attack angle was ever so slightly less at minus 6.3, but that's really good for a pitching swing. Great feel to have there of forward pressing, turning up to the top, feeling that ever so slight pressure moving into the ground from the knees, flexing a little bit, to then pushing upwards from the body. So that feel, ever so slightly bigger golf swing. We could see there how hard I tried to hold that on the way through. It's curved ever so slightly too far away from target, but that wasn't even a full swing. Building this up into full swings, we've done the chipping swing, we've done the pitching swing, we've applied that ever so slight body movement on the way down and pushing upwards from the ground here. Now, how should this work with the all-in-one motion full swing? You've just got to trust on the way back that after you've preset it and turned up to the very top of the golf swing, that your club is in the perfect position. It's in a very much so reliable position. You just have to turn the body as much as you can and as early as you can do it as well. If you don't turn the body from this movement, the club's going to drop and you're going to end up flipping the golf club last minute, and that's when you see them go too far left. So the key for this, the trigger for the downswing, is all coming from the body. So trigger move of presetting up to the top, pressure down, and pushing on the way through. Now, the thing for me to finish off that golf swing as well is just this point here and letting the arms fold over my head, just to make sure I don't release this club on the way through. Now, I've done really well there with starting that golf ball to the right and curving it back, and it has gone a little bit too far there for that flag pin position. When we have a look at the carry of 204, that's as much as 10 or so yards more than the previous shots. A big difference there in distance, so you're not only going to see an improvement in the ball striking and feel that compression, you're going to see distance gains and also improvements to your overall golf swing. Now, I was about to finish the video there, but you're probably wondering, well, once I've done practice with this grip, how do I revert back to the normal grip? What's the feel? Does anything change? And the answer is no feeling changes. Once you do your normal grip, go back to your normal grip after practicing with this weird adjustment in the grip. You're going to just practice and feel that same sensation into the backswing. As you turn, you're holding that angle on the way through. We don't need to forward press so much. If you find that forward press useful as a trigger for the golf swing, just press it a little bit and swing back and forth. And look at that one, much straighter and landing closer to the pin. Now, once you go ahead and give this a try, you're going to want to take this onto the golf course. I recommend taking a look at downloading my course management ebook. I'll leave a link in the description below for that. It's an easy and simple to read course management guide to manage your way around better on the golf course. And why not comment down below? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this weird adjustment. It's helped me. I really do believe it's going to help you if you suffer with those same issues. And why not check out any of these two videos over here on the screen? The top one, YouTube believes that's the perfect video for you to watch next. And the bottom one is a great two-step drill that allowed my student to gain way more consistency with his golf shots and his overall golf swing. Be sure to click the subscribe button as well, as there's lots more content coming out every single week to help you lower your scores. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in one of those two videos over there.